Hello, my darlings. Today is Monday, and we are jumping into lesson 32. We're on session 2 in our math books. So we're skipping over lesson 1 because I want to try to get in as much as we can before summer break, which is so soon. So we're on page 773 in our books, and this whole lesson is on two-dimensional shapes. So when a shape is two-dimensional, that means it's flat. It's not like 3D, 3D kind of pops out at you. Well, that's not what two-dimensional is. So two-dimensional is like this. It's just flat. Okay, this is a triangle. It has 3 sides, 1, 2, 3, and 3 sides, and it has 3 corners. So think of like a corner of maybe when you were little, or still, if you have to go to timeout, they're like, go to the corner. And you go to the corner and you're in timeout. Okay, I know I had to do that. And I would always go to the corner. It also has 3 corners. Okay. Then the next shape you'll see on page 773 looks like this. Right? And this one has how many sides? 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. And 4 corners. 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. Okay, this marker's kind of dying up, so I'll switch markers. And then there are some other ones that have a whole bunch of other different shapes. Or number of sides. But when you talk about shapes, you can talk about the sides and the corners if they're two-dimensional. That means they're flat. If it's three-dimensional, it's going to pop out and you're going to have more. But this is only for two-dimensional shapes. The other shapes you might see on your page might look a little bit like this. And this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 corners. And this shape, my friends, this one right here is called a hexagon. So this is called a hexagon. And this is a triangle, and tri means 3. So this TRI in there means 3. It has 3 sides, 3 corners. It means 3. Triangle. Tricycle has 3 wheels, right? Hexagon is 6 sides, 6 corners. It looks like this. And then 4 sides, 4 corners. That could either be a square or a rectangle, right? It depends on if the sides are stretched out to make it a rectangle or if they're all even, like a square. This would be a rectangle because these 2 sides are longer than those 2 sides. Okay, so just to kind of give you an update, that's kind of what we're doing. That is the lesson this week. So I wanted to teach you that because that's what I would do if we were in the classroom. So on page 773, you have 3 groups of shapes. One kind of looks like this, group B kind of looks like this, and group C looks like this. So it says, Sophie says the shapes in each group are the same in some way. How are they the same? So I want you to look at those shapes and think, how are they the same? Because Sophie's right, they are the same. But how do you sort shapes? It's up to you. So I'm going to show you some examples of what it could be, those shapes in those groups, and then see if it matches up with yours. So pause it if you want to try it yourself. Otherwise, I'm moving on. So in group A, you could say this is group A, right? Group A has all 3 sides, all 3 corners. You could also say group A are all triangles. So angles are these where the corners are. These are the angles. And they're a triangle, so they have 3 of them. Now group B is right here. And you could say group B all has 4 sides and 4 corners. And you could also say they're all rectangles. Could you sort these? Oh gosh, sorry. Could you sort these by color? You absolutely could. There's just not enough of them. So you could say these are the yellow ones and these are the blue ones. But then other than that, you have red and purple and teal and green. So there's just not enough to put them in 3 groups. But you could definitely sort them by color. Then this is group B. Then group C, you could say all has 6 sides, all has 6 corners. They're not all hexagons, just the only 6-sided shape that looks like this is called a hexagon. The rest just all have what? 6 sides. They all also have straight edges or straight lines, right? None are like a circle like this or an oval like this. They're all straight. So it has straight lines or straight sides, if you will. Okay, so there's a couple different ways you could look at it. Again, you could say group A is all triangles, group B is all rectangles, group C all has straight lines or straight sides. None of the sides are curly like this. Another way you could do is you could say group A all has 3 sides, group B all has 4 sides, and group C has 6 sides. Next page kind of talks about what I just talked about, but I wanted to have you hear it a couple of different times because I know shapes can be confusing for some people. So it restates the problem, which means it states it again. Remember, re is a prefix. It means again. So Sophie says the shapes in each group are the same in some way. How are they the same? Model it. The number of sides and corners tells the shape name. So it's exactly what I did. It says triangles are 3 sides and 3 corners. Tri means 3. There's 3 angles on that shape. 4 sides and 4 corners are rectangles. 6 sides and 6 corners are hexagons. And it drew that hexagon for you. Okay. Now down below, you have to fill in the blank. And it says blank have 3 sides and 3 corners. So you would write in on the blank triangles on that first blank. Triangles have 3 sides and 3 corners. Second line says rectangles have 4 sides and 4 corners. The last one, hexagons have 6 sides and 6 corners. That's the answer to that. So hopefully now you have a better understanding of what is a triangle, a rectangle, and a hexagon. Turn the page. We're going on to page, sorry, Dirks wants to say hello. Say hi. Hi. Hello. He wants to do math with us so badly. So on page 775, we're going to jump down to number 2, and it says, why can shapes that have the same name look different? Okay. So because they all could be different sizes and the angles could be different sizes too. So I'm going to erase this because you could have, what they're wondering is like, so problem number 2, if I have a rectangle that looks like this, but then I have a rectangle that looks like that, they're both a rectangle, but they look different, don't they? Well, it's because they have the same properties. So the properties are 4 sides and 4 corners, right? So as long as they have the same properties, you're going to have the same shape. I know. Yes. Hello. Hi. Off. Okay. So let's see. Okay. So it's because they have, and I want you to write this down like I always do, they have the same properties, period. So again, 4 corners and 4 sides. So it just kind of, this is a model to show you that even though they look different, they're still the same because they have the same properties. They both have 4 sides, they both have 4 corners, they're both rectangles. They just look different, okay? Kind of like us, right? We have the same properties, we're all human, whereas Dirk's here, he is different, but most dogs are the same as him, right? Wet nose, floppy ears. Yeah, okay. Hopefully that helps you get the idea. All right, number 3, Allie says these shapes are the same in some way. How are they the same? So they gave you 3 different shapes down there, and it says they have blank sides and blank square corners. So what a square corner is, this is problem number 3. A square corner looks like this. I could fit a square in this corner perfectly. Okay, this is a square corner. On a triangle, I can't fit a square in that corner. Do you see how I did that? It doesn't work. So these are all square corners, which is really called a right angle, which is the same as 90 degrees. You don't need to know that now. That's just for my friends who are ready. Okay, that is really advanced, but it's there if you want it. Okay, so you're going to put in, they have 4 sides and 4 square corners. These shapes are rectangles. These are rectangles where 2 sides are longer, 2 sides are shorter, but they have these right corners. They can make a square in the corners. Okay, and a right angle, remember, is 90 degrees. Number 4, June says these shapes are the same in some way. How are they the same? So you're doing the same thing on number 4, but you're doing it with triangles. Triangles have 3 sides. 3 sides. So we're going to say they have 3 sides and 3 angles, and these are called triangles. Triangles. Number 5, Sammy says these shapes are the same in some way. How are they the same? They all have 4 sides that are the same, length. And they all have, oops, supposed to go on the line, 4 corners. This is a square. This is a square. Okay. This is a this H is silent, rhombus. So think about with a rhombus, you literally take a square and you slant it. Okay, that's it. So you have a square like this and you slant it. These lines run parallel, which means they'll never ever intersect. Okay, it's like a choo-choo train. We've talked about parallel lines before. They just keep going on and on and on and on and on. So a square also has parallel lines this way and this way. It's harder to do. Dirks, I need you out, bud. I love you, but not right now. So parallel lines run like this. This is a square. A rhombus, it's like it's leaning over. It's like sleepy. It's really tired. Maybe that's where the R is from rhombus. Really tired. Okay. So a rhombus is just like a square. It all has 4 sides that are the same length, but they're tilted. Okay. Now it could tilt this way like my rhombus, but it could also tilt this way. Something that I think helps for rhombus could be if you put this R in here, it kind of takes up that space. I don't know, it kind of goes over, like this part goes over, and that's what happens with the rhombus, it moves over. So whatever helps you understand what a rhombus looks like, hopefully you found it in today's lesson. Okay, square, rhombus. They both have 4 sides that are all the same length, and they also have 4 corners. Okay, a square can fit little squares in those corners, a rhombus can't. Okay, all right. Number 6, describe the circle. You're going to tell us how many sides and how many corners. Number 6, here's a circle. It has 0 sides and 0 corners, right? There's nothing there. The 2 lines don't ever meet. It's just one line that keeps going and going and going, and there's no sides. Okay, if you put it down, it's gonna roll away. Number 777. These are the practice pages. So again, it shows you at the top, it says here are some shapes you know. Triangle, 3 sides, 3 corners. Rectangle, 4 sides, 4 corners. Hexagon, 6 sides, 6 corners. Okay. Count sides and corners, name the shapes. So the first one has 4 sides and 4 square corners. That one is going to be a rectangle. So you're going to write rectangle. If you don't know how to write or spell the word rectangle, do not stress, do not panic. It is there on your sheet. So up at the top, it lists those groups. Number 1 is a rectangle. It's up at the top if you need it. Number 2 is a shape that looks like this. It has 6 sides and it is a hexagon. And you're going to fill in, it has 6 sides and 6 corners. Hexagon is 6. Number 3. Ooh, this is fun. You'll need some sort of colors. If you don't have colors, you can use letters like Miss Flam does. But it says color the triangle green. So the triangle, you're going to color in green. And color the rectangle red. And color the hexagon yellow. I'm going to put a Y for yellow. And I flipped it. So the book flipped it too. And I don't want you to like freak out if you see it flipped, because triangles go any direction, rectangles go any direction, hexagons, same thing. So don't let them trick you. Number 4, color the shapes with square corners blue. So with this one, let me get like a sticky note really quick. With this one, it's like, what would fit in the corner? This is a square, remember? So if the lines for the shape go like this and they make a square, which remember is called a right angle, it's 90 degrees. If this is totally flat, and I have 2 of these guys, this is 180 degrees, okay? But if I just have half of it, it's 90 degrees. So it's fitting a square in those corners. So the first one is a rectangle, and then you have a triangle, and then you have a hexagon, and then you have a triangle that has a right angle. So if you can fit a square in there, I go like this: square, 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 square. Then I'm going to color these blue. So this one would be blue and this one would be blue. These 2, I can't fit a square in there, right? When those lines line up, they go wider. So it would be like here is where the line meets up. It would be this line and like that for the hexagon. So that's not a square angle. Same for the triangle. The triangle goes like that. So I can't fit a square in that corner. Number 5, circle the shape that has 6 sides and 6 corners. Hopefully you can see that it's this guy down at the end. The very last shape, that's the 3rd shape. There's a shape here and a shape here, and it's this shape right there. That is the hexagon. It has 6 sides and 6 corners. Number 6. Number 6, what is the same about these 2 shapes? Circle. So they give you one rectangle that looks like that, and then they give you one that looks like that. They're tilted though, so I didn't tilt them. But it says circle. So square corners is one option. Square corners, and then the number of corners. So let's see, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. This one has 4 corners. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, so number of corners is correct. Let's see if square corners is also correct though, okay? So again, if I can take this and put it in here, do you see that? It's perfect. Square corner, square corner. So this one has a square corner. This one, look at that, friends, also has a square corner on all of them? So the answer is both. Both of those are correct. So you're going to circle square corners and number of corners. They're both the same. They're just kind of like how we talked about earlier. Like they're the same shape because they're both rectangles, but they have different sizes. One is thinner, one is not as tall, and one is taller. Okay, but they're the same. All right, so that is a great lesson on two-dimensional shapes. Tomorrow we'll be jumping into three-dimensional shapes, which is like 3D. So I will see you tomorrow for some more math. Bye, friends.